Welcome back to OK, So Hear Me Out. I'm your host, Bear. With me, of course, is the man who needs no introduction.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Chris, Big Circle. Give it up.
Good morning. I was going to say good morning, Vietnam.
I heard that. I heard that.
That's old school now. That's old school now. Robin Williams.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams.
What's up, folks?
Man, I love it. I love it. That was one of his classics there, right there.
He got a lot of them, man. He had this run, and that was probably one of the ones in that run, right, where he just kept making these movies that were.
Oh, yeah, in the 90s, that dude was just putting them out like back to back to back to back to back.
Yep. Yeah, he was something, man.
Definitely something, man.
Hey, man, good to be here, man.
Absolute.
I had a hectic last couple of days, so it's good to slow down and get out here and talk about some things, man. So
no, man, for real, I definitely feel you on that. It's been last couple of days, last couple of weeks have been a little something. I know last month, it's the reason why I kind of wanted to talk about this topic today, this subject today on mental health.
Yeah.
Last month was Men's Mental Health Awareness, and I'm the kind of guy, I really don't like having to talk about something just because, it's that time. Like, I don't think I'm going to have a Christmas episode just because it's Christmas, I don't think I'm going to really speak on Halloween just because it's Halloween.
Welcome
or anything
to the
like
Yuletide
that. I'm not going to talk about Thanksgiving and what are we thankful for just because it's Thanksgiving or even November.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have like a segment or, something within the podcast, but I mean, I don't feel like making a whole episode about it, which is kind of like, oh man, the month of June, we need to put out something that's mental health awareness, a month about men and ride that wave. I'm talking about stuff whenever I want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't like it. It starts feeling like the topic, the movement or whatever you're going to talk about is boxed in.
Yeah.
If we were an organization that did X, Y, and Z, I get it.
Yeah.
But us, like what we do, nah. Christmas in July. We Christmas in July kind of guys. It's like, let's just talk about this.
It's like you said, man. What you texted before, man? We are our own bosses when it comes to this.
Yeah.
We can meet up whenever we want to meet up. Talk whenever we want to talk, discuss whatever we want to discuss whenever we want to discuss it.
Yeah, man. So y'all are listening. So hey, that's the way it is, man.
Exactly.
Like, we're gonna put that out. I mean, you something hits one of us, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we need to talk about that, and that's the board meeting. That's how it works. It's like basically, okay, that's something that people want to hear, and more than that, it might be something that's helpful to us.
Right.
If it's helpful to us, chances are it's a few 100,000 people out there that's going to be helpful to as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
With Black History Month, I'm keen on that.
Yeah.
You want to come out and talk about Martin Luther King for a month, and you want to put him back in this glass case for another 11 months. And I was like, man, I don't like that.
You see, that's what I'm talking about,
I appreciate the month.
Yeah. And that's like, it's like, oh, Valentine's Day. This is the one day of the year you need to make sure you show your significant other how much you love them. Valentine's Day for me is 365 days a year.
It should be.
That's what it should be.
It should be.
I'm going to express how much I love this individual, whoever I'm dating, whoever I'm with. I'm going to show her that I love her every day of the week, every day of the year. Not just, it's Valentine's Day. I got to put out on this day.
I didn't like that. It's a big deal, though.
It really is.
And I'm like, but why?
Exactly.
But why?
Exactly.
Now, you will get some tomatoes thrown at you for saying that. But I mean, nobody can explain to me why it has to be such a big deal. I think if we were honest about it, we could just have multiple ones during the year at a minimized level.
Absolutely.
I'm hearing about things that, and it's just from the guy's perspective. I don't know about the ladies, but how many things that some of these guys got to do that I know, and I mean gotta do, like it would be a problem.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, man, you got to do that and spend that. And I'm like, man, but if they're okay with it, all right. But I know some guys that are kind of in Well,
in a whole.
They're in a place where these are requirements. If it doesn't happen, things start to fall apart.
Exactly.
That's disappointing. But
it really is. Because to me, that's not even love. Now that's just obligation. And, this is a rule that you have to follow.
Right.
Well, that's not love. That's not showing love. That's just showing obedience.
I like that.
And that's a huge difference between the two.
I like the idea of doing fly things for your significant man. That's
absolutely.
I don't like the idea of doing it at gunpoint. I don't like that.
Right.
And it's, but, random stuff is really cool to me. It's like, I'm going to do this.
I'm telling you.
Well, why'd you do that? It's because September 18th or March 23rd.
It's April 3rd.
Or, November 40th. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. I'm doing that. So, yeah. Yeah. Man.
It's September-ary to 38.
Right.
Right. 3104.
Right.
That's the reason why we're doing it. Just because it's a day.
And
you and I have breath in our lungs.
Right.
You and I love each other. And I just wanted to do something for you.
Yep.
That's it.
And the best I could too. And this is maybe financial, maybe not. And whatever I did is within my financial means, Yep. And, you being thoughtful, I think that might be a show we could talk about. I think that is a show we kind of thought we talked about.
Yeah, we discussed
that.
We discussed that we're going to discuss it.
Coming
we just
soon.
Never came around. Yeah,
coming soon, everyone.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Yep.
But okay, so what I really wanted to get into, man, is of course, like I said, mental health awareness.
Yes.
And just dealing with not only just recognizing the different aspects and issues with mental health, but what needs to be done, what we can do as far as, helping each other and helping ourselves move forward with it, and trying to not only move forward with it with recognition, but move forward with it with the ability to heal and be better with ourselves. Because in my opinion, I believe mental health is an issue with everybody. I don't think there's a single solitary individual in this world who's ever stepped foot on this planet who has not had some type of mental health issue. Now, your mental health issue may be different than anybody else's. Like some people may have social anxiety could be their mental health issue. Some people can have anger issues as their mental health issue. And some people's anger issues could be extreme to the point that they act out violently all the time. Or some people's anger issues can just become that they just become aggressive, more aggressive than usual, or more aggressive than their constituents, people that they're around all the time. So it's different levels to it. Again, there's different types of mental health issues that everybody has, and there's different levels to those types. So not everybody experiences it in the same vein. And I think part of the problem with society is the fact that people want to look at mental health and say that, oh, well, if you don't have this, then that's not a mental health issue. And if you're not dealing with it in this way, then it's not a mental health issue, or, this, that, and the third. And I think that's part of the problem, is the fact that we, for some reason, want to categorize and put a glass wall around everything that there is, or not even a glass wall, just put everything that's mental health in a particular box and try to act as if this is all there is to it, when it's very broad, and it's very it's beyond just broad. It's gray area. There's a lot of gray area with it. There's nothing black and white about it. I've spoken on this several times on the podcast, with just bear with me. And of course, okay, so hear me out in regards to, going through therapy. And I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I'm in between therapists right now because the therapist that I had before, God bless her, she passed away, and I had to pick up. Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard too, and I had to pick up another therapist, and I've gone through two other therapists since that original one who passed away, and I was with her for a few years, man. I think I was with her from 2016. Yeah, I was with her from 2015 or 2015 through her passing away 2019. So I was with her for about 5 years.
Yeah, built something.
Yeah. And it took me about a year and a half before I found somebody else. This was like 2021 when I found somebody else. And I had that one and another one since then. So, and now I had to leave the last one alone. And there wasn't anything wrong with her. It was just the fact that it just didn't match. Mm-hmm. With a therapist, you got to find the right therapist. You got to find the right person that you can talk to and who can talk to you. Because the thing is with therapy, you need to be able to, number one, you need to be able to talk. You need to be able to be aware enough of yourself that you can speak on yourself. Speak about yourself. Speak about your issues and your non-issues. So you can figure out exactly what it is that you're dealing with, what it is that we need to focus on and we need to work on. And you need to find somebody who knows how to speak to you, listen, and learn how to draw out the root of your problem or your particular mental issue, mental condition. So yeah, like I said, I'm always been a big advocate for therapy, and that kind of reminds me I need to get out there and try to find a new therapist. My PCP said that she was going to be able to help me out with that too, so I might reach out to her and see if she can get me a good list of who's available on my insurance.
Referrals are always good.
Referrals are definitely always good.
Save you some time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, well, I guess there's two things in what you were saying. One, therapy is good, period, full stop. Yeah. Thanks for coming. That's the talk. It's a positive thing when done right. When you've got somebody that's got a sound practice and they've got the right interface, and then you've got the client that comes in and they are ready and flexible. Mm-hmm. If you're coming in and you've got, this is how I want it, this is what I want you to say, this is how I want to feel, that's not, from what I understand it to be, that's not how it works. No. And that doesn't get you the results I think that everybody on both sides are seeking, and I've seen it done wrong. Mm-hmm. And I've seen practitioners get beat up because they're saying, well, you didn't do this. And the answer really could be, well, you came in with unrealistic expectations and minimal flexibility and all that. You can't, you need a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to medical school. You just need a doctor, right? You're not a mechanic. You just need their expertise, and you kind of got to let them be who they're going to be. But to just get there is the biggie, I think, in this, at this current time. We just don't have enough people that are engaged in that resource. But we're open to doing it with everything else. If you need to learn how to play basketball, people will pay for trainers. I know grown people that are in training to learn how to dunk in their 30s and 40s.
Are you serious?
Yes,
that's a thing.
That is a thing.
Oh my goodness!
There's a book I'm going to read, and this guy just said I'm dunking next year, and he took a journey. And then next year he never dunked before, and he went through and he got a video to it, and it's actually interesting. It's like, so you got people that'll get into any and everything. I think there is a hierarchy, and I'm not saying this guy wasn't, taking care of what he needs to take care of. I'm saying that in the hierarchy, I know which one is more important, right. And mental health is extremely important, and it has been the stigma behind it and the ignorance around it has been staggering. And so for me, I'm like, let's everybody seek the knowledge to get to be well wherever we need to be. And a lot of it probably is just, it's not tear down and rebuild. It's fix this, fix that, fix that. One thing might take 6 weeks. One might take 6 days. Another might take 2 years. But mental health, and the evolution of mental health, by the way, you got to have an appreciation for that too. It has, if you look at the history of it, it does not have a great history as far as practice.
Man, as far as practice in the oh my God, dude, some of the quote unquote medications was cocaine.
Yeah.
Making you take cocaine, making you take LSD, electroshock therapy. I mean, putting bolts on you. I mean, putting bolts of electricity through your body to reorganize your electrostatus. I think is what is how it was stated. It was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, it got bad.
It got really bad.
You go, well, you're diseased of the mind. They're going to burn you at the stake.
Yeah.
They'll kill you. You're beyond help.
Yes.
We should drill into your cranium to try to get some of these things out. And there was a thought that if you have a mental health or wellness issue, whatever they called it at the time, but if you had something like that, then there is a sort of extreme hygienical kind of process that's got to be taken. Your mind needs to be, you need to be flushed out, as opposed to, no, we're going to use external stimuli, communication, and whatever to get to the root of that. Now, if it's an imbalance and there's medicine for it, I'm going to thank God for medicine kind of guy. I'm not, I don't believe in medicine. I'm a guy like, if there's something that'll help, if it's safe, yeah, use that. Yeah. I can remember a social critic speaking about mental health and saying in the 70s, there was this bunches and bunches of, what did he call it? Diagnosed conditions on the mental health and wellness side that just popped up over like 2 or 3 years, a lot of which we still know about now. And there were medicines that popped up for that. But some of those, you'd go look at that list now. I should have brought it today. We're talking about this. There were medicines put forth for conditions that weren't actually even diagnosed yet. Like, you hadn't seen anybody with that particular condition. These companies would make medicine saying, yeah, this is for this, and that's a form of depression. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So I don't appreciate that.
Right.
That's you looking and saying, this person does not know medicine. I will prescribe them this, and that may or may not do what we say it should do. Now that I have a lot of disdain for that. But now, if it's medicine that can keep you from missing whatever it is in life you are supposed to pursue, your purpose, go for it. But people will stigmatize that too, and I don't have much patience for that. There are conversations I can sit and I'm thinking, boy, I disagree. There's 5 people in the room and I disagree with everybody. I can sit there and listen for a while.
Right.
That one I got to get up and go, because you will make it to where people feel fearful about getting well. You should be a conduit and, not a disruptor, but you should be a facilitator of that as someone's friend or, colleague or loved one. And I don't see enough of that.
See, that's the word I was going to use, a facilitator.
Yeah.
Somebody who's going to be who's going to be helpful with guiding you through it, not just, take 2 of these and call me in the morning, type of situation. I am not the biggest. It's so funny too, because I work in the medical field. I am not the biggest advocate of medication because of the fact that, and it's because of the fact that I work in the medical field for so many years now, that I see far too many medications that are used just strictly for, and this isn't even just for mental, this is also for physical, just for symptoms. Oh, okay, you've got a fever or a headache. Here, take this medication. You have ED. Okay, you take this medication. Let's look at the underlying. I mean, that's just the problem. It's just the underlying problem. Let's look at the underlying problem. Let's look at the bigger picture here. What is causing the headache? What is causing the fever? Oh, you have X, Y, and Z. So let's treat that, which will in turn take care of the fever and the headache, and you have ED. Well, it's not just because you just have blood flow issues. No, it's just because you have probably weight issues or diabetes or something like that. Let's fix the entire thing, which will in turn fix your ED. So, but they want to give you this medicine, this medicine, this medicine, and this medicine. They want to give you 5 different medications to take care of one thing. So it's the same thing with like somebody with depression. They just want to give you medication for your depression. No, let's figure out why you're depressed. And let's try to get you out of that state. Let's speak on that, and let's figure out what we can do to for some course correction, because it's not necessarily just a chemical imbalance, something of that nature. No, this is something that's a sociological situation. This is something that is a social situation. This might be a family dynamic situation. This may be a work abuse situation. This may be a physical abuse situation or an SA or something of that nature. There's a reason. There may be a reason why you are suddenly now in a depressed state. Because let's just say you weren't depressed before. So what has you depressed now? What happened? What triggered this? What brought this forth? Not, well, you're depressed now. We don't know what's going on. So why don't we just give you this pill and that pill and that pill to take care of that? Why? Well, because Big Pharma wants their money. Got to pay Papa his candy. So, I've never really been the biggest advocate for just medication. Yes, like you said, there are some medications. There are times the medication is needed, and there are some medications that are definitely needed and helpful. But the medication needs to be taken and given in a way that's like, okay, we're going to start you off with this, and this is going to be the plan to get you off of it. Whatever we're to get you out of that. That's how medication, in my opinion, needs to be viewed, as this is a temporary thing, and we are just going to we're going to give you this, start you on this, and we're going to work on getting you off of this. This is going to be planned. So let's just start you off on this. No game plan as far as weaning it off. Or getting you off of it. So that's always been a problem I've had when it comes to medication. Now, go ahead.
I think that's kind of a rampant thing. I think also, from my experience, if you have a conversation and say, okay, what about holistic things besides these?
I like holistic healing.
Just
for some things.
And actually, that might be the wrong word. Things outside of.
No, you're right.
Outside of here's this pill, here's this thing that's been crunched in the lab. Yeah. But
home remedy.
Yeah. Are there plants I could just be, loading up on as, and are there natural things that I can do? And I've had conversations with folks who are
eating fruits and berries
for this particular thing. Like have this item. So here's this list of things that I understand it to be. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, what about that? Well, it ain't fill in the blank approved. And I'm like, yeah, but what? Can you tell me if that will work? Because even if you're saying I need to take this medicine, and I do, and it might not do anything but treat the symptoms, and it does. But what about dealing with the actual underlying condition? Will this help? And if you're going to tell me I don't know, because that ain't, you can blend that in the blender and that ain't FDA approved, and that ain't a poster in my office with that medicine, with that thing on it, man, I got a problem with that. So why not have a comprehensive conversation? Now, a lot of times they will say, man, you got to stop eating what you're eating, or you got to get sleep, or you got to lose weight. And you don't do that. Then you do understand that the only thing I have for you is this, and it treats the symptoms. Yes. Then they can't do anything else for that. Right. So you got to meet them. You still have to be on your game. You got to be on your game too. There is a plan. Yes. But if you like, I like barbecue, and that's my plan. Because I'm kind of on that plan. I can speak to that one. So that part of this conversation, I can speak to. Bacon and cheese burgers. Yeah, it's like, so I'm not going to follow that plan. There you go. But I think there needs to be a study where you just kind of look across the board and see who's practicing in certain ways and see if they're doing the same things that you see here, because it is criminal to see sometimes, the pathway to wellness that people are put on physically. Same thing with mental health. I think it's not abstract. It's not this where your knee, we x-rayed it and we see problems inside of that. You really can't x-ray a lot of the things that go on with mental health, mental wellness. So it's next level. Yeah. So you really got to be able to diagnose and say, man, I know what we could do. And that's why, like you said, you got to have the right person that you're talking to, because, well, one, if you got to pay for it, there's that. But two, if you take that time and you come home, you're like, okay, I got that done. And then in a week or like 3 or 4 days, you're like, I didn't get much out of that. And then in another 4 weeks, I didn't get much out of that. You're losing time, and you still have whatever issue or incapacity that you have. And I think people will say, well, the heck with it. I ain't going back at all. And now you're not getting that help, and you still got your problem. And again, if your circle is great for laughs and beers and, watching football and doing all that, that's great. But if they can't help you with that, now you're stuck. Yeah. Because you don't have an advocate that can sit you down and say, man, I'm here with you. And if you want to talk about this while you're trying to figure it out, you can talk to me. I'm a confidential, safe space. I'm not a professional, but at least you'll start getting some support here until you find somebody that, is your Robin Williams to Goodwill Hunting. Right. What's the deal with Robin Williams today? That's my second time mentioning him.
And it's very ironic on top of that, being we're speaking on Robin Williams when this is a man who took his own life because of, his depression.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe that was subconscious. It just popped in my head.
Just feel so sorry for that man and anybody else.
Child for how important this conversation is. Yeah. For a guy who was supremely talented in what he did. No matter if I know people that was like, I don't really like his movies, man, but and they would hold their hand up and be like, as far as comedy and work, he's great. I'm like, how can you not like him? But that some people, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah, everybody's got their difference.
To be supremely talented like that. Yeah. And I believe a beloved figure worldwide. And that tells you how important this is, because it's not about that. This stuff will take you to some dark places. It's that, help. Yeah,
comedians especially, people, and it's not even just comedians, but it's just people who have that vibe and that energy and that demeanor, who go out to make sure that everybody else is happy, whether it's to make them laugh or just make them feel good in that moment or whatever. Jim Carrey spoke on it probably the best that I've ever heard in regards to that. But I can't call exactly how he said it or what he said, but he basically said in so many words that you have these individuals who are out there trying to, make everybody else feel good, make everybody else happy, but who's helping them out? Who's doing for them? Who's taking care of them? And I've even spoken on that about a year and a half, 2 years ago on the old podcast, who protects the protectors. And it's something that I definitely had to deal with. I know for sure. I've had my bouts with depression before, and that was one of my ways of speaking out on it and getting it off my chest and talking about it, is the fact that you're out here and everything that you do is to make sure that everybody else is happy, make sure everybody else is taken care of, make sure everybody else feels good. But you don't have that. You don't have anybody who's in your corner to make sure that you're happy, make sure that you're taken care of, making sure that you feel good. Even though you're out there, like, I'm just gonna put it out there. Even though I was out there and everybody looked at me like, oh man, well, Bear's happy. Bear's happy. He's got, this great life. He's, married, got a great kid and everything. And, he's doing all this work in the church and
what could be wrong?
And he's doing this great work at the hospital. And got all these patients who, speak so highly of him. His co-workers speak highly of him and love working with them. They always going out and, enjoying each other's company and things of that nature. And I was fighting. I was exhausted every single day because the thing that I was always fighting was making sure that I don't end it, because I was down. I was down for a hot minute, man. And it's still something that I'm not nearly fighting it as much as I was then, but it's something I still, try to have to deal with to this day. Because the fact that I didn't have, and it wasn't like everybody's fault, because there are just some individuals who I know who would have been there for me. Like, for instance, you, I didn't talk to you about it, so you wouldn't know, and I put up the facade whenever I was around you and all like that. So it wasn't something that you were just like, hey man, you all right? You didn't have the question or anything, because you didn't think there was ever a need to question.
Everything's cool.
Like everything's cool. So there, I would have to, like I said, I would have to remind myself, I can't do that, because I can't do that to my kid. I can't do that to my mom, who was still around at the time. I can't do that to my friends and my loved ones and things of that nature, and also I just can't do that to myself, because thou shalt not murder.
Right.
And that is self-murder. Right. So I didn't want to put myself in that risk of eternal damnation. So I had to just remind myself what I'm living for. Not just personal afterlife situations, but the other people who are around me. Who am I living? I'm living for them as well. It's not just about me. But another, and it's like, again, this is still something that I have to deal with periodically, as it is. But I have people that I talk to. Again, I'm still looking for another therapist. So, hey, any of y'all who are listening to this, if y'all know a therapist, y'all got a good therapist, give me a hit up, hit me up on Instagram, TikTok. Okay, so hear me out _podcast, or, email me at justbearwithmepodcast@gmail.com. Anyway, quick plug there. But yeah, still reach out, if you know anybody, but not even just reach out to me. If you know anybody who's going through it, anybody that you see is maybe a little bit different from what you know, or let's say, for instance, again, I never did show my issues. I'm pretty sure the friends who are always there for you and are always there for other people, they don't show that they might have issues too. Reach out to them anyway. Just reach out to all of your friends, regardless. Say, hey man, how are you doing? Everything okay? Talk to me. How's your day? How's your week? How's your month? How's your year been? These last few years have been tough, man. 2019 was probably the last easy year everybody's had. Since then, it's just been a roller coaster of craziness for just about every human out there. I'm pretty sure we've all gone through it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. This pandemic did not help anything else, help anything with anybody at all. But yeah, so, and another thing about me too, I just want to go ahead and put this out there. I'm about one of the most transparent individuals that you'll probably ever know or meet, for those of you who know me. So if you ever have any questions, you can just talk to me and I'll just let you know exactly what's going on. But I do understand when you say, hey man, how's it going? Oh man, I'm good. I understand passing talk and
robotic response.
Right. Exactly. But a little something about me. This is going to be news for you. I've only told a very select few individuals about this. That I have been diagnosed with DID. And if you don't know what DID is, it's dissociative identity disorder. or what used to be called multiple personality disorder. Mm-hmm. So I've been diagnosed with DID. Now, the way I've been able to accept it and deal with it, I'm not your typical diagnosis, being the fact that most people with DID or multiple personality disorder, they have slips of consciousness. It's like sometimes they'll not remember certain things, certain events.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sometimes they may not remember certain things, certain events, some small moments, just because of the fact that it's kind of like a mental switch, and it's like only that personality may know about it, and there are other causing side effects come along with that as well. Again, I'm built different. I'm a weird individual. I've always called myself that regardless. And this kind of even just solidifies this. This is something I've known about myself since, kind of known about it a little bit in high school when it first really triggered, but I have the full diagnosis was with that long-term therapist that I had.
Man.
And, so I've been dealing with this as far as full knowledge of this and knowing about this for
8 years.
A little more than 10 years. Yeah, about 8 years. You're right. About 8 years now. I can't remember what year I'm in right now. It's 2025.
We're getting older, man. It gets tougher.
Right. But yeah, so about 8 years now I've been dealing with understanding what I'm dealing with now. I have like 5 extra me's within me, but we're a group, we're a team, we're an understanding of everybody's role and what everybody brings. There was a guy who was the more aggressive of the group, but he wasn't more aggressive just because of the fact that he's just aggressive and hot-headed. He's a protector. There's another one who is the intellectual of the group, the one who's the heavy thinker, the one who overthinks sometimes because he's always thinking about ahead, what's going on in the future. There's the one who's like the more mellow of the group, the chill guy who just sits back and relaxes with everything.
Right.
Exactly. It's going to be all right.
Don't worry about it.
There's a feminine part of it as well. There's a feminine person in there. She's recognized, she identifies as a she. She is female, actually. So she's the feminine side who brings the softer side, who brings the caring and nurturing side of me out and things of that nature. And of course, there is the one who is like the guy who keeps everybody level, keeps everybody in their zone, in their lane. And make sure he's kind of like the leader of the group.
That's the busiest one.
Yeah, he's the busiest one. Exactly. And yeah, so it's kind of weird that I'm actually just telling everybody, the whole world about this right now.
Yeah, shout out to you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so he's the leader of the group. Everybody has a name, their own personal name. And then there's also there's the child mentality in there, which makes a lot of sense because I'm a big kid. I'm just
that one might just be you, bro.
Right.
That one might be here to stay. And there's no, well, this one's here and this one's not. I think that one. Yeah, no, they're all looking around the studio here.
He got a seat.
Yeah,
he got a seat at the table. He sit at the grown folk table. He don't sit at the kid table.
He's the interior decorator of the studio. I tell you that right now. To borrow your brother the PlayStation stick right here, the Darth Vader. Exactly. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but so
shout out to you, man.
Thank
God
you, man.
bless you on that too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a work. It's the work to maintain. It's a work to understand, and it was a work to get everybody on the same page to understand. Okay, look, not everybody can be in control of the shell that this is the body, you know. There's you've got this lane that you picked, you got this particular part that you picked. I've described it to somebody before. In fact, one of the people I talked to about it was my son, and I got to a point I felt like, you know, he needed to have a bit of an understanding of this and why I am who I am and things of that nature, so that whenever it comes to a point where he needs to discuss something, I want him to be comfortable to be like, you know, Dad ain't gonna look at me crazy because he told me something about himself that I'm pretty sure he'll be able to understand what I'm coming from with this, you know, no matter what his situation is. So I'm hoping that this helped open up that path of communication. But I described it to him one way, and I've described it to somebody else. And my therapist, my former therapist, and we spoke about this. It's kind of like, and this is for old heads out there who are listening, who know this. It's kind of like Voltron. You know, when you've got 5 different people on the team, and one controls the left leg, one controls the right leg, one controls the left arm, one controls the right arm, and the other one controls the body and torso. The torso and the head. So it's like they all come together and they all know their roles and they all work together as one collective team. And that's pretty much how my DID works. We all come together and work as one collective team, and that's who I am. So it's like one friend of mine calls it Bear and Company, because that's basically what it is. It's a company. It's a group. But that's my mental health story.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, some of it came from the fact that when I was a teenager, I had anger issues. I mean, bad anger issues. To the point that at one point when I was, I think I was probably about 13, 14, maybe 15 years old, my mom told me, she was like, I'm glad that your dad is no longer here, part of the family. And I was like, why is that? She said, because the way you are, and I know the way he was, I'd be visiting one of you on Saturday and another on Sunday.
Big time clash.
Yeah, because one would be 6 feet deep and the other be in jail. And that was the trigger point where I was like, I got to do something about this. And that's when I went to like this anger management therapist. He was actually a former preacher at a church I used to go to growing up. And so that's what triggered my understanding of starting and getting into therapy, and the understanding of that, and learning myself and understanding myself. And certain events in my life would trigger the awakening of this personality and that personality. And I started to see where they would come from, to the point that this is where I am now. And I understand who I am and where I am and what I came from and where I came from. And yeah, so like I said, I'm just like as transparent as I can possibly be without being overly indulgent in my background. I just, you know, let all of y'all know you're not the only. I don't speak on this just for the sake of speaking on this. This is not like somehow some preachers do and be Bible thumping and saying you need to do this, that, and the third.
We got enough of that.
Yeah, exactly. We do. We'd have way too much of that. You know, you need to do this, that, and the third, and to make yourself a better individual. No, I'm speaking on this because I need this just as much as you probably need this, who's listening right now. And like I stated before, we all have mental health issues in some way, shape, form, or fashion. We all need to go to therapy in some capacity. In some capacity, everybody needs to go to therapy. And like I said, I'm a huge advocate for it. I pray that all of you go through it. Not go through an issue, but I pray that you all will take the time to see a therapist, you know, and see what you can do to help yourself. Because you're not doing this just to help yourself, to help better yourself, which is the number one thing. But you're doing this to help better whatever relationship you have in regards to your significant other, whether you're married or not, your kids, whether they're present or future kids, your parental situation as far as your connection with your parents, your connection with your grandparents, and your other blood family members, your connection with your friends, your ability to go to work and do your work and cooperate well at work. You know, it's so much that goes into healing yourself mentally that I don't think we all fully understand until you get that aha, that epiphany moment that you realize this is deeper than what I thought. And also this therapy will help you in your relationship with God. So it hits you in all aspects: religion, physical, mental, emotional, and it might even help you out financially as well, too.
I would agree. Yeah. You know, I would say, again, that's you know, I guess you said when you were 13 or 14. So thinking about what years that would be time, I'm looking at the timeline. So there's
calendar-wise?
Just calendar-wise.
Yeah, it's like 92, 93.
You know, early 90s.
Yeah.
So, you know, the additional shout out goes to you for letting people know. Because now somebody's listening to this and they're sitting up saying, man,
I'm not alone.
Yeah. Or, man, the first app in my phone, I think, is going through that. Now I know I can have a conversation. That's why that I think is worth it. So, you know, you're to be commended again for that. But let's take a moment to commend your mom, too, because you had to get to anger management. Unless you just did that kind of on your own. No,
that was part of her.
Yeah, see,
she was huge on that.
A lot of folks don't have the understanding to say, well, now, I'm just going to deal with this. She was like, well, I'm going to deal with it, but there's probably someone that can help, too. Mm-hmm. And I think, man, utilizing what the community provides based on the resources you have can help. That probably set you up for later saying, okay, I'm going to go talk to Dr. Amazing. I guess that's what I call her, the first one you had in 2017. Yeah. I'm going to talk to her because I've been there before and it's been comfortable for me. So now I feel like I can go back in a different capacity and talk to her. And then you find out about the DID, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, but maybe you don't do that if you didn't do what you did in the 90s too. Like all of that makes it that much more vital to be in a place where you can be your advocate or somebody can. You couldn't really be your advocate probably at 13 or 14.
No.
I mean, that's a heavy lift.
Yeah, mom forced that.
Yeah. You probably like, I ain't going over. I don't want to go over there. She's like, man, this is going to be helpful. That's all she's probably thinking. Like, nah, man, this is going to be helpful. Plus what we're going to do at home. Right. So I think being your own advocate is one thing, but the likelihood is if you can be around someone that can help. You know, that's a big thing. And for those of you that are out there that don't have a queen mom like B has, I mean, you can, we heard all the social media, you can reach out, but you can reach out to someone and say, you know, I need some help. You can advocate for you. So take that first step. Yeah. Because there are a lot of people out there that will just take their hand out and reach out to you and help. And then you can figure things out. It might not be as bad as you think. Right. It probably, what I love about these pros, once they know. They're like, oh, this is what's going on. Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. Let's listen about it and let's get to it. But shout out to you, bro.
Thank you, man. You're right, though. You landed on one point. The fact that if you look at the timeline, the 90s. Yeah. See, we grew up in an era where, you know, you don't discuss that. You don't talk about mental health because, you crazy. Right. The stigma was at a fever pitch. Exactly. Yeah. You don't see a therapist because you're not seeing a therapist. You're seeing a shrink because you're crazy and you've got mental issues.
Can I say something? I always hated that term.
Yeah.
When I was a little...
What, a shrink?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like... When I was a little boy, I said, that don't sound right. You know, I remember watching 80s movies. I was like, I'm going to see a shrink. That don't sound right, you know. Right. Anyway, go ahead.
No. You're right on point.
I do not like that term.
I never did. I did not like that term either. Well, I didn't say I didn't like it, but I felt it was kind of sus every time I said it.
I had a problem with that.
I felt it was kind of sus every time.
I didn't like it for a whole bunch of reasons, man. I'm not finna go out on no tangent. I didn't appreciate that. Yeah, but you're right.
And I was just going to anger management. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even going to therapy. It was going to an anger management class. Not really class, because it was one-on-one, but still going to see anger management.
It was a full-blown therapy.
Yeah, it was basically therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was basically therapy. When I look back at it, it wasn't called therapy, but it
ended up being
therapy.
that. Yeah.
When I look back at it, and I was just like, yeah, man, I was really going through therapy. He had a workbook for me. And we worked on some questions that he would have in there for me and things like that. But it was basically therapy, man. Was able to find out the underlying issues with my anger at that time and during that time period. And it was basically the same thing virtually any teenage black boy was going through. And having dad in the house. Mm-hmm. But everybody else I knew had a dad in the house. Well, not everybody, but just about everybody else I knew had a dad in the house. And I was jealous.
That's a big deal.
I was jealous. I was envious because I'm like, what is wrong with, number one, what was wrong with my mom? My mom was cool. Mm-hmm. She was on the heavier side. Maybe she wasn't the most attractively built or specifically, stereotypically built woman or whatever like that at the time. But man, who cares? My mom was cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She was a good person. She was helpful. She would always I already knew. I don't remember seeing her with a man because once my biological father left, she didn't bother dating another man after that because she was like, I'm focusing on my children. That was her game. That was her thing. So she focused on us. But I know by the way that she talked to us and the way she treated us and the way she talked to her brothers and her brother-in-laws and how she treated them and her dad and how she treated him. I was like, man, I know she would have made a baller wife, So I was like, he didn't leave because of that. He left for some other underlying conditions, which may have been mental health issues with him. Now, I know at one point he had a problem with drugs, and I'm talking about the hard stuff too. So she kind of kicked him out because of that, and he just never flew straight since. But like I said, I used to be just, like I said, envious and jealous of everybody else. 'Cause I'm like, man, they got these dads in their house and all like that. Virtually every girl I dated had a dad, which was, cool. It was great for them. I mean, I wasn't upset at them. I was just upset at the fact that why can't I have that? Mm-hmm. I had my Will Smith moment, remember on Fresh Prince that when his Papa
don't want me, man.
Yeah. Papa Rose a Rolling Stone, I think that was the name of that episode, man. And every time I see that clip, man, I always tear up because especially when he talking about, to heck with him and how come he don't want me, man, that hits every time because that was my thing. How come my biological father don't want me, dude? Especially when the only 2 or 3 pictures that I have of him, we was together. Mm-hmm. It was me and him.
So you're like, what happened to that?
What happened to that? I mean, clearly he must have liked me. He was interested in me or something in some capacity. Now all of a sudden he just had to up and bail to the point that he never made contact again. Dude left a month before my 3rd birthday, and I never seen or heard from him ever since. Sorry, 4th birthday. Never seen or heard from him ever since. October of 82. Like I said, I hold on to that, because that drives me to make sure that I do good, and I'm always there for mine. So mine don't ever have to have that how come he don't want me man moment. Never have that in doubt. He'll never have that moment. But that was the underlying root cause of my anger, needing to go to anger management because that and also too the amount of pressure that my family used to put on me whenever I was a kid because of my quote unquote intelligence. They put me on such a pedestal and put me on such a level that I could never reach. And it wasn't anything about what I liked or wanted or needed or anything like that. It was all about what they wanted or they expected out of me, you know?
That's heavy.
Yeah. And that was heavy. So it was a combination of those couple of things and a couple of other underlying things as well that, one or two other underlying things as well that just made me, you know, like I said, just an angry kid. Even though I tried to hide it as best I could by trying to make everybody else feel good and make everybody else happy and laugh or whatever.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I was the comedian. I was the fun loving person. I was the person that I was the approachable one. Anybody could talk to me and things of that nature. But like I said, I needed, I had my darkness within me. And pulling back to Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey spoke on it. Robin Williams even spoke on it, you know, subliminally, in later interviews that, you know, there's this who protects the protectors situation because everybody is like, oh, well, his life is fine. He's great. He's on top of the world. They don't ever want to look at, or they don't, not they don't want to, but they just don't think to look at or check in on those people who are doing so good, quote unquote, and they don't have any idea how dark their world is, you know, what they're going through, because everybody's going through something. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going through something. Like you said, Robin Williams is the poster child of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody is going through something to the point, but no matter how happy their life looks on the outside, there is a darkness. And it may not be, some people might feel like, oh man, well, man, I can handle that. You know, I mean, that's not as bad as what I'm going through. Great. That's fantastic. It's not as bad as what you're going through, but it's bad to them. Not everybody has the same mental capacity or the mental tolerance that everybody else is going through. Like, not everybody has the same mental tolerance like you have. Not everybody has the same pain tolerance that you have. If I stub my toe, I'm like, you know, and I'll move on. Somebody else may stub their toe. They're falling on the floor, grabbing their foot, and dialing 911 because that's their pain tolerance. It's not always an overreaction. It's just, this is the best that they can tolerate. Some people can't take a shot.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Some people can't take a shot, you know, but there's some people, you know what? Best example I can have. I used to work in the ER. This was pre-pandemic. Used to work in the ER. Had two guys came in the same day. One guy came in covered in a king size blanket, wearing basically nothing underneath, but he was shivering and acting like he was dying. And he was with his wife and kids and everything. And the wife was signing him in, getting him checked in and everything like that because he acted like he just couldn't move. He could barely make it. Mm-hmm. What was wrong? Well, he's got a fever. He's got a cold. Basically, dude, when it was all said and done, dude had a flu. Acting like he couldn't do anything for himself. Couldn't drive over to the hospital. Had to go to the ER. Okay. Checking himself into the ER for something that we told him, get some NyQuil, rest up, drink some fluids, and call it a day. Another guy comes in, same day, same age, same ethnicity, same build pretty much, almost look near like they could have been cousins, okay? Comes in, hey man, what's going on? He's with his homeboy. His homeboy signed him in. All right, what's going on with you? Oh, I hurt my finger, cut my finger. His friend looked at him and said he didn't cut his finger. He basically amputated his finger. Dude cut off a third of his finger from work. His friend, the other co-workers on their way to the hospital now, to the ER now, because he was standing behind trying to find the other piece of his finger that got cut off. So they go and put it in a baggie on ice so they could probably try to get it reattached. Huh. Yeah. This dude is coming in like he ain't got a care in the world, ain't even bugging. He was like, oh, it hurts, but, you know, it is what it is.
No, it ain't.
That was literally his words. It hurts, but it is what it is. It wasn't one of those whole, well, he still got the adrenaline going. Nah, dude was chill. Dude was chill. He was as chill as if he probably maybe slammed his finger in the door or something like that. No, this dude got his finger cut off with a circular saw. Comes into the hospital. Like I said, he about a third of his index finger, his pointer finger, gone. Compare this to
one is not like the other.
Yeah, one is not like the other. You know what I mean?
Right. One of these items is not like the other.
Exactly. So that was, like I said, that's the best example I can have of not everybody deals with not everybody has a tolerance of the same things in the same way. That dude that had the flu, had he cut his finger off, he probably would have just said, "Go ahead and just end the rest of me. I'm done. My life is over." But the dude who had his finger lopped off and probably had the flu could have probably had the flu right then and there, and you would never know it, just because of the fact that he probably it doesn't deal with him. It doesn't bother him in that same way. In the same way, when it comes, like I said, to mental health, not everybody deals with the loss of a loved one the same way. Nobody deals with having to handle multiple deaths in a short time span in the same way. Not everybody deals with being a child of divorce in the same way. Not everybody deals with going through a divorce in the same way. Being a divorcee in the same way. So it's everybody's mental health issues are different, are tolerated in a different capacity. So to say that, oh, well, they're overreacting, or they shouldn't be reacting in that capacity to A, B, C, or D is not the right move to make, because what may be small to you is big to somebody else, and what may be something small to somebody else may be big to you.
Mm-hmm. We're all different that way.
Yeah.
Again, this is a talk on men's mental health. Man, allow people space to be who they are. Accept the differences as you can within yourself and everybody else.
Yeah.
Tolerance for different things. One of the things I read about when we were having a show about this is these small victories, celebrate those, but also understand that the next person might be like, you think that's small? That's huge. Yeah. And also understand what they think doesn't matter. Absolutely. You should actively celebrate the small things. And I found out about that years ago. I said, man, that's good for your mental health. No, I know it ain't. You set big goals. You hit home runs. You celebrate home runs, not singles. That's not true. I mean, you celebrate bunts, walks. You might get beamed. You get to the back. You celebrate
hit by pitch.
Yeah. So my thing was, man, you celebrate when you hit 30 points, not 4 or 5 points. I had to learn that wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And I don't do that now, man. I get a small victory. Yep. I'm celebrating that. And that might be just sitting back and taking a look at what you did and smiling at it and then moving on. And that would be a 30-second exchange with yourself. And it could take you where you need to be.
Right.
You got to be careful about that. Now, it's a balance. If you're always just running around here saying, man, I'm great, I'm doing this, and there's not a lot of movement, that's what the person's circle for. You got to pull their coattail and be like, bro, there's an ascension that you're supposed to be making that we have talked about, and you're not. You're celebrating this because you're afraid to go for what you're supposed to go for. There could be a conversation about that.
Your accountability friends.
Yeah. But generally speaking, man, I have a friend right now. Mm-hmm. You have a conversation with him about something and say, man, X, Y, and Z happened, and this was the situation, and this was the result, and the result being extraordinary enough for me to bring up over a beer or me sitting there talking to you. All right. So basically it's a story, and then like the New York accent. So boom, this is what happened. Right.
Right.
And every time you do that, if he can, he'll say, yeah, man, because one time, and he'll try to take it up a next level with his, like,
oh my goodness.
So, so-and-so did this and they scored 10. Yeah, I remember a time, man, so-and-so did it blindfolded on one hand. They scored 30. That's really, it's like, all right. Every time. And so one day I noticed this, that he was doing that.
I hate story toppers.
I was like, I said something to him about it, man. He didn't appreciate it. But I was like, bro, you do that all the time. And he came back later. He said, you know what? I do that. I said, yeah. Knock it off. Because
man, shout out to him for admitting.
Wait, time out.
It may have taken him a minute.
It took him a while.
It took him a minute, but I mean, he came back.
Yeah.
I got to give him that, man.
Yeah, because he was like, you know what? This is what he said. He said, man, he country like us. He said, man, you shoot me square, bro. So I had to think about that. He's like, and I do that because I caught myself doing that. He said, but ain't nobody ever told me that, man. And he said, how often do you think I do that? I said, all the time. All the time. He said, why you ain't say that? I said, well, at first, we just sitting around.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do when you fish? You tell lies. I mean, you just tell stories. Yeah. People are so happy to not be at work, to whatever problems you got, at least at this point in time, wherever you're sitting at doing whatever you're doing, they ain't really weighing on you. You're sitting there, you're hanging out, and it ain't just beer, it's Kool-Aid. You sit down and have a nice cold cup of Kool-Aid and just talk things out.
Facts.
Whatever it is you do. I said, so I ain't really sitting here critiquing, like, let me listen to the way you express yourself in your joy. That ain't what I'm doing. But I realized every time I'm saying something, you was like, yeah. I said, man, some of that stuff you talk about is fiction. You like, it's possible it could be this. And you just topping whatever I said or somebody else said. I said, people are noticing you're doing that. They ain't going to say nothing.
Right.
He said, yeah, but I know you're going to say something. I said, yeah, but it's a one-on-one thing.
Right.
And, he was like, yeah, I'm going to knock it off with that. And he says, man, it's hard for me to do that. And he said, why do you think I do that? I said, the reason you do it is because you want to contribute to the conversation. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're just like, yo, I'm trying to be popular so I can get Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell or Lisa Turtle. I don't think that's what you were doing.
Right,
I think you were like, I just want to contribute to the conversation. This is good conversation. He was like, that is it. I was like, yeah.
Feeling left out.
I just want to, I just want to contribute in a way that makes me feel like I had something extraordinary to say too. He's like, because the stuff you were saying, he's like, it was really cool stuff. I said, but we sitting at the same table.
Yeah.
So I'm there not because I want to say something and you just sit there and you're a stenographer now. Like, I want an exchange.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I'm going to chill out on that. He did say this, man, I'm going to chill out on that. So that,
I'm telling you, I got to give him so much credit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats who will be out there who will be in their feelings when you tell them something like that.
Man.
And will be adamantly denying that.
That happened.
Yeah. They will deny that till the day that they die. And will cut ties with you because how dare you?
I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah. They will, seriously, because I've had that. Will cut ties with you because they'll be like, how dare you? Like, dude, I'm just telling you what's real, man. I'm just telling you what's real. There was this one guy I used to work with, and I'm going to let you finish up what you were about to say. Mm-hmm. But I had this one guy I used to work with, and he would always just jump into the conversation. It'd be you and me talking, and he will jump into the conversation. Man, what happened? Who are you talking about? What happened? And to the point that I had to tell him, I said, bro, you need to stop doing this. Wait, what are you talking about? Every time anybody is talking about anything, you jump in and trying to get in, trying to take the pitcher of tea and just trying to drink it all in. It ain't got nothing to do with you, man.
Right.
I mean, I get sometimes you want to hear a story, want to find out what's going on, but man, there's a way to do it, dog. And you are doing it wrong. And the other people around me was like, dang, Derek, that was kind of rude. I'm like, no, that ain't rude. Somebody needs to tell this kid this, man, or to tell this guy this, because you don't want them to fool around. I prefer to be the one to tell you this than you find out through somebody else who don't like you.
Right.
And are going to try or will let you keep doing that to set you up for failure. I'm not going to set you up for failure. He and I had to talk about it a couple of times, or maybe a couple of days later about it. And I'm like, look, dude, this ain't about, I'm not like, again, I'm not trying to set you up for failure, man. I'm trying to help you out. I said, maybe I did come across you wrong when I said it. Maybe I did. I apologize if I did.
I ain't lying though.
But I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's real. Dude, you need to slow down on that, man. You can't just keep jumping in on everybody's conversation, because some of these conversations, man, you just don't need to be in it. I mean, if they wanted you to know about it, they'll tell you about it. Mm-hmm. I would tell you about it. But it ain't for you to just jump in. What we talking about? Who we talking about? What happened? I was just like, bruh.
Knock it off.
Dude jumping in like
Mystical.
like Rick James.
Here I go.
Charlie Murphy.
Boy.
What did the five fingers say to the face?
Yeah. Boy.
Unity.
That's a classic.
Cold-blooded.
Man, people going to be watching that in the year 3000.
Come on.
That's crazy.
Oh, man, it's still on Netflix, and I'm so glad that it is, because I watch it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes folks, and while I'm pointing the finger at the guy I talked to, I'm pointing one back at me, because you're going to do something too, where social, particularly those are two social examples.
Yeah.
Socially, everybody can use a fine tuning from here and there. From here and there. The problem is you probably don't know it.
Yeah. And like you said about him, ain't nobody told him about it.
Nobody told him. He said, nobody ever told me that, man.
Yeah.
And he so you got to talk. So he realized he was doing that because he said, I get ready to talk. And he just basically got to eat it. Like, even when he was still hot with me, he was like, man, I'm finna do that. And that dude said that. But he was screaming with me, bro. And I guess he's kind of looking at me like, how are you qualified to say that? And I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But I didn't lie. I didn't lie, though. Like, I know that's something that you need to stop doing. I know that. I know that it doesn't make people comfortable, and it ain't good practice.
Again, it's not personal.
Nah, it's
trying. I'm trying to help you out, man.
Well, shit, man, maybe it is personal. I think about it, but it ain't me. It isn't malicious.
No, it's not malicious.
It was like
that's the word.
It's not like, malicious. Man, look, cut it out. Lovingly. we, at a slightly elevated decibel level, I'm telling you, cut it out, man.
Look,
hey,
with a little bit of bass in the voice.
So, man, look, take a introspective look, everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
Do it like you would do anything else. I got a friend of mine. And this person you might know, I ain't gonna say the name out here.
Okay.
She is not electromechanically inclined, right? Okay. She's not handy.
Right.
Her window actuator broke. And she called me. She said, man, how much it costs to fix that on the car? I said, I'll call you back. I called the guy, gave her, gave him make, model, year of her car, and called him back with that number. And she said, and I'll give the sanitized version, there ain't no way I'm going to pay that for this. I said, what you going to do?
That sounds like something that might have started with an F.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, allegedly, possibly.
Allegedly.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get a little Fifth Amendment.
Slight possibility.
Yeah.
We need to keep it PG. We need to keep it G-rated.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it was interesting to hear her say that, because usually she's real cool breeze with it, and she was not at that point. I said, man, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm like, what's that mean? I talked to her that next week. She took that door apart.
Holla.
Messed up a couple of times and put it back. And she was like, I'm just going to go pay the people. I'm going to figure this out. But what I did is I called people, and I got online, and of course YouTube at this point.
Yeah.
You might be able to do some of your own surgeries at this point. Yeah. They have everything. And I think that's funny, because I remember when Mark Cuban said, that company's going to fail. I'm not going to buy that one. He got it right on like 150 other ones, but he missed it on that one. But she did that. And here's the point. The point is, she had no interest in any of that work.
Right.
Like me and you might be like, yeah, man, I'm going to get out here and do this with the car, because we done bruised up some knuckles before. Right. She hadn't had it. She did not know what a Johnson screwdriver was or a Phillip. I know this because I asked. I said, "Do you know what that is?" She said, "No," but I saw the video of it. The one he had the little pointy ones. I went and bought the pointy. I went and asked for the pointy screwdriver.
I would have got the
I was like, you went to Lowe's and asked the sales associate for the pointy screwdriver? She's like, yeah. What he do is she pointed it. Well, she said he took me over there, and there were a bunch of them, and I got one. She said, because I need it for this. She showed him the video. Was he laughing? She's like, yeah, he was laughing. I didn't appreciate it. I said, I'd have laughed at you too.
I got the
so
pointy
she went
one.
And got the pointy one, and not the skinny one. I said, flat. It's skinny. I was like, all right, I'll let you have that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Was this K?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna tell you who after.
Yeah.
No. But hey, it would apply. And, she had that is a heck of a guess.
That's why I guess.
That's a heck of a guess. Shout out to Kay. Love her to death.
Shout out to Kay. I know she happy because her man KD coming to the Rockets, man.
Oh, boy, look out.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, I saw that.
She's the first person I thought of.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yep.
They said Kevin Durant, all but finalized, all that, whatever they said. And you know me, first thing I'm thinking usually is, hey, that team's got this cap implication and they're going to win and boo, boo, boo. First thing I thought of was her. I got my phone. And the second thing I thought of was, how can I be petty? That's how the process went.
How can I be petty?
Got my phone, went to the Rockets. I said, hey, and went and found her the tickets, the season ticket spot where you go, and sent it to her. I said, there you go, man.
There you go.
I said, because you're going to need this.
Get it on.
Go and do what you're put here to do.
Get on it. What you put here to do.
This is your time. This is your time.
This is your moment.
This is your Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury. Like, go get it. Like, but man, no, it wasn't her. That's a heck of a guess.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. But that wasn't her. But she did that. So with mental health, man, like go find a pointy screwdriver, bro. Like with me, one of the things I know for mental health is to get enough sleep, and I don't do enough of that. Yeah. So I recognize that. So sometimes I'm just like, I really want to watch this limited series Netflix documentary, and I can't do that because I got to go to sleep. So I need to say no, turn the TV off, go to sleep. And social engagement is big. That I think we talked about it on one show, maybe the first show I was on. Keep your circle big, not small. Yeah, that's out, bro. Don't listen to them people. Keep your circle big. Interact with the right folks. Kick them out your circle when they ain't supposed to be there.
Right,
keep
exactly.
All of those.
Whether
things,
your circle is big or small, just keep a clean and healthy circle. Yeah, that's what you want to have.
Make it as big as you can.
As big as you can. Exactly.
Because just think. You're in control. That it's like an old martial arts movie where you see these dudes and the guys like, this is your fighting circle. Like, if it's bigger, it's better. Yeah. But you have to be the manager. Yeah. I don't need you here because you're bad for me and I'm bad for you. You have to do that. But you don't want just a small circle because when you need something, you got this small truncated set. I'd say work on it. Now, I mean, if you're an introvert, I'm not asking you to go and make 500 friends. Let's be honest. Let's be smart about what you're doing. I am saying, though, social interaction can be very, very good at different levels. Yeah. Go hang out. If you don't like wild parties, don't go to wild parties. No. If you're a bird watcher, join a bird watching group. Do what you do, right? Yeah. But open things up. So some of those things, man, talk to folks, Google, and figure out where you need to be. Especially, and then I'll stop right here. Especially, and I mean this, if you want to just cut all my other parts off, just leave this part here. Do all this, especially if you think you don't have a problem. If you think you don't have a mental issue, a clinical item, anything like chronic or anything like that, do all this stuff, especially if you don't think that, because the real truth of the matter is you might not even know. While I'm sitting here, I agree. The truth of the matter is I might not even know. I agree. But it's worth it because when you find out, you might have cost yourself a lot of time and stress, whereas you could have been working on this thing 15 years ago, 15 days ago. Mm-hmm. So if y'all want to ignore anything else I say, you're like, man, I'm skipping Chris's parts on this episode. Don't skip that part, man. Man, take inventory and be man enough to take inventory and take a look. Mm-hmm. Pop the hood. And if everything's shiny and good, that's great. If it's not, now you know. And, we're spiritual guys. So thank God for that. Yeah. If you're into that, you thank God too. And you go to work on it, man. And and likelihood is you don't fix it today. Just fix it. Just fix it. Yeah, because we need y'all, man. Just fix it. Just pay attention and be accountable of who you are. Be understanding of who you are. And I know you don't really like this phrase, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Man, you don't know me. Cut. Come on. Scene. Take two. Action. And that was ridiculous. I might not be asked back, people. It's good. It's been good to know y'all. It's good to know y'all, man. I enjoyed my time here.
You messed up my flow.
You said you were going to say something profound, probably, that I screwed up. And you said, man, I know you don't like this phrase. So it's a phrase you've heard I don't like, man.
Understand your truth. Understand who you are.
Yeah.
At the moment. Mm-hmm. Because your truth can change. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that this is just you defined as that's it.
Yeah, okay.
No. Understand who you are at that moment and that time period. I had to understand that, okay, my mom's taking me to this anger management class. I ain't got no anger management problem.
Right.
You lost your mind. What's wrong with you?
Back up.
Back up. Give me 50 feet. How dare you tell me I got anger issues? You got anger issues. I'm not out of line. You're out of line. This whole court is out of line.
The whole court is out of line.
No.
Did you order the code red?
You're darn right I ordered the code red.
Yeah, you don't have no issue, man. Y'all come on back up.
No. I had anger issues, and I had to open up and accept that. I had to open up, accept that, realize that, and move with the understanding of what do I need to do to correct that. Mm-hmm. That's understanding my truth. Mm-hmm. This was my truth. My truth, another part of my truth I had to understand is I have DID. Mm-hmm. What do I need to do to control it or understand it or move forward with it in a way that is compatible with living a healthy life? I had depression, sometimes still have depression. What am I doing to combat that and move forward with living a healthy mental and physical and spiritual and philosophical life? Mm-hmm. Those were my truths that I had to look in the eye and accept. And this just hit my head as soon as I said I had depression. Depression looks different for everybody. Yep. Being depressed does not mean I'm literally moping around and I'm wearing eye black and I'm looking emo all day long.
And woe is me.
Yeah, woe is me. And I'm standing in the middle of the rain whenever it's raining outside.
Nothing matters.
Depression can take any single solitary form. Again, we didn't know Robin Williams was depressed.
Nope.
Until he took his life. We have to understand that our closest friends, who may look like the happiest and most stable individuals out there, could be fighting depression, and we have no idea. So it's always good to just check on your friends. You don't even have to say, hey, man, what's going on, man? Talk to me. You can just call them up and talk to them. Mm-hmm. Call them up and talk to them. You know what kind of helps them out? Getting your truth out there. Mm-hmm. If you're going through something, maybe that'll give them the motivation to express the fact that they're going through something.
Yep. I've seen it happen.
I've had those conversations with people.
Yep.
I've had conversations with people where I told them, about what I'm going through, and they would turn around, maybe not the same conversation, but within a couple of days or a couple of weeks, I'm like, hey, man, can I talk to you about something? And they would open up. And that would be them facing their truth. Again, your truth does not define you as who you are forever. Your truth just defines what you're dealing with at the time. But you have to be responsible and accountable enough to understand that, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm dealing with. What do I need to do to course correct, to make sure that I am doing better to complete my life? Mm-hmm. Reach out to your friends. Mm-hmm. Reach out to the people that you know you can trust to talk to. You can reach out to me if you want to. You know how many patients that I have that call me years later?
Ready to chop it up.
Years later to chop it up with me because they have either questions that they're dealing with, they have their own condition or their own family condition that they're dealing with, or they're still dealing with the loss of someone, child, parent, or something of that nature that cancer took from them. Mm-hmm. I get these phone calls, not at work, on my personal phone, mm-hmm. text messages, phone calls, and I'm okay with it because I've always been, and I still say this to my current patients now. I tell them, I'm like, look, I know I'm here for you to, get you situated and taken care of, here to be seen for your cancer and whatever, or whatever your diagnosis is. But if you need to reach out to me, you have my contact information. They have my work email. They have our office phone number. They have our office fax number. They can message me through our patient portal directly. If you have something that you just need to get something off your chest, you just need something to cry it out, reach out. And they have.
Bigger circle.
They have. They've reached out to me. Yeah, there you go. Bigger circle. Mm-hmm. I might be a temporary person in that circle, but it's okay.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter. But they reached out. They reached out to me just to say what they needed to say, or get mm-hmm. whatever they needed to get off their chest or off their back, or, through their tears or whatever. And I'm like, it's okay. It's good. And it's helpful. It's really helpful. So again, and I'm not the one to go out and say, man, you won't believe what this patient told me.
I ain't into that.
Name, name, first, last name. No. This is how I know them and all that. No. Cool. These people, what happens, what you tell me, you tell me, and that's it. And I hope you have somebody in your life that you can reach out to, and be able to have those discussions with.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
Hold what you was going to say, though.
Yeah.
I've had similar situations. And the gravity might not have been quite that high. When you come from the kind of work you do, and then you have these after 5 conversations, I can imagine that's a pretty steep conversation you're having. But I've had similar ones where a person will say, hey man, I need to talk to you about something. And they'll get into the beginning of that story, and I understand where it's about to go, because from where it's starting, the roller coaster, some of them you just go and you take a loop and come back. Some of them you go here and that thing look like it goes to the moon.
Yeah.
We're going to the moon. And I would say something like the following. I would say, man, or, if it's a lady, I said, you about to tell me this. It's pretty heavy stuff. You sure you want to tell me? And they say, yeah. Yeah. And they keep going.
Yeah.
And what I had to learn was, when they say that, it's not that, man, you're the only person on the planet. It's just like, you're the one I can get this out to right now, and I got to get it out.
Yeah.
And you're the person. You give them an out to go back in that shell, and they'll say, I've been holding this for years. I give them an out to go back in that shell. And they're like, yeah, I know. I want to tell you that. They will say yes. Because they need their personal cell phone number. They need somebody that'll sit there, and now you're not a human. You're this big flat board, and they can just sound it off too.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, maybe you turn back into somebody they want a response to. Not I had them where they come and they tell me, and they say, man, I don't even want a response. I wanted one when I talked. I feel a lot better now. And,
mm-hmm.
One of my friends, she was like, man, it felt like I just had a workout.
Yeah.
But the good part of the workout, not the beat down part, but like, I feel great now because I actually did something. My body's rewarding me with how I feel.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting what you're saying. And I understand that to be something where, boy, you got to be well positioned when they call. You got to be ready, and ready means available.
Yeah.
For their truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. Real good stuff.
Yeah, man. Great stuff. Great conversation, dude. Chris, I appreciate you, man, stopping by, being able to get this conversation going.
That's awesome, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tapping in. We will reach back out with you next week. Please remember to follow and like us on Instagram and TikTok. Please subscribe on YouTube. Thanks again for tapping in. Peace, love, prayers. And as always, make a great day.
Yes, sir.